All right, good afternoon. Thanks for coming. Recap of the game on Saturday, I thought, kind of echo the same thing I said after the game. Really proud of our senior class to, get a win there in the Glass Bowl in their final time to have that opportunity. And, 4 years out of some of these guys that are really four-year players, a lot of these guys played as freshmen. 21-3 in the Glass Bowl in their career is a tremendous feat. They've given a lot to this program, and you have senior day, you have some of these moments, you try to honor them, but they'll always remember the last game, last time they put on that, maybe last time they ever put on that midnight blue jersey. So some good individual performances there. Blocked the punt. Junior was our MVP on special teams. Thought he had a great game all the way around. We had lots of guys on offense that had good games, but Chip was our MVP on offense. And then 17 tackles for loss, 7 sacks on defense. Many guys that, were excellent on the defensive side. But Avery Smith was our defensive MVP. And sometimes those corners, when they're doing their job at a high level, you don't see him as much. But he really showed up in the run game and, gave him a couple tackles for loss and knocked a couple passes down. So I thought he had a good, complete game. But turned our focus here to Central Michigan. Very physical team. Team is playing very well here down the stretch in MAC play. New staff there, and they've got those kids believing and playing really, really hard. Going to be a physical game. Doesn't seem like the weather's going to be as nice as maybe it's what it's been here the last few weeks. So got to handle the elements, handle the trip, and get ready for a tough physical team. So that being said, I'll take your questions.
You've treated the last 4 weeks or so as playoff games. Now that it's the final week of the regular season, has having that mentality, do you think that will help you this week, like knowing that your backs have been against the wall?
Well, I think that you've been around here long enough to understand that for me we're very process-driven here. We've kind of talked about all of these scenarios that could maybe possibly pop up since January. You want to make sure that you get through the season with staring adversity in the face. And maybe we had a little bit more adversity early in the season than maybe what we wanted or maybe we intended to have. But it's still about the response. It's ultimately how you're going to be judged in life. So our guys have responded very well. We got to do that for, another week. And then hopefully if we are able to do that, then that'll provide us a couple more opportunities to play together. So, this is a very connected team, a very good, tight-knit group of guys, and a team that's fun to coach. I've stood up here before and had to kind of, put on a smile and, act like I was so excited to go to practice every day in team meetings, but I really wasn't, just because they weren't as connected. But this is a good group. This is a great group of guys, and I'll play with these guys as long as we can. So if they'll give us 5 or 6 more games, we'll take them.
It seems like maybe a little bit forever ago, but you guys had your best road performance of the season against Miami, statistically speaking, and does that give you any momentum coming into this game, and just what it will take to sustain that?
Yeah, yesterday's home runs don't win today's games. I've said that before, and each week you have you're taxed with the opportunity or the responsibility to try to make sure you put a plan together that allows your guys to go play freely and fast and lets them have fun. So we'll try to do that in all 3 phases this week, and hopefully we can come out with a win.
And lastly, for me, I know it's a goal every week, but with the way that your defensive line has been playing, just how much more of an emphasis is it to get that pressure on the quarterback and make him uncomfortable the entire game?
Different animal this week, right? This isn't there's not going to be very many 4 receiver sets and many deep balls going down the field from this team. This is going to line up and see if your shoulder pads work type of operation. They're going to test and see if your chin strap is buckled up. So, you're playing defensive line. There's weeks where, you can watch a little bit of tape on a Monday or Sunday afternoon and you got a chance to get after the quarterback, and you probably feel that way. But this is not. This is, you got to hold your gap. You got to hang in there, and we got to get these guys tackled and get them on the ground, because it's a physical operation that wants to run the ball and set the table from there. So different challenge, but, ultimately if you can create the disruption that you're speaking of, you're going to play probably pretty good defense.
Going off that, there's always a sense of urgency in every game we play. But going in this week, being last game of the season, having a team that controls the ball like they do on the ground, is there any momentum or urgency that you have to take from last game to snowball into this game?
Yeah, again, it's rinse and repeat, right? You got to get ready to practice. So, we got on the field yesterday, corrected some of the mistakes that I thought were that showed up in the game on Saturday, and then, got a little intro into what we think CMU is going to be. So, we got to go put it out there in a live setting tomorrow at practice, and, and handle the rest of the week that way. So, Yeah, I don't know if wins or losses. We don't know if, last week's games matter at all. I mean, it's a new set of challenges this week, and we got to answer the bell.
Jason's a little offbeat, but OHSAA just released the NIL referendum. Any thoughts on that coming down today?
Yeah, probably best I don't comment on things I don't know a lot about. So, I got enough NIL problems here in our own building to worry about everybody else's.